Right, in this video we're going to be talking about mixed numbers and improper fractions. So let's take a look. First of all, what is meant by a mixed number? So for example, number 1.5, so we call this a mixed number. So 1.5 means one whole and a half. Okay, so let's picture this. So 1.5, let's picture this in terms of halves. So with regard to this diagram that I have over here, we have a half here and another half, and 1/2, and 1/2 is the same as 2/2, and 2/2 is 1, so that's the same as one whole. Okay, so there's our one whole with an extra half. So 1.5 is one whole and an extra half. Okay, so you can visualize this pictorially like so. So I've visualized it in terms of halves, since we have halves over here. So this one whole is two halves, so two halves gives us this whole, or 2/2 gives us 1, together with an extra half. Now we can write this mixed number, so this is what we call a mixed number, okay, or a mixed fraction, but we can express a mixed fraction or mixed number as an improper fraction. So remember the term improper fraction. An improper fraction is a fraction whereby the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So let me show you how to write 1.5, a mixed number, as an improper fraction. So we've got 1/2, 2/2, 3/2. And 3/2 is our improper fraction, and the reason, remember, is because the numerator 3 is bigger than the denominator 2. Okay, so over here we have an improper fraction, so let me write that down. So improper fraction, and on the left we have this, and that is written as a mixed number or mixed fraction. Okay, let's see another example. So 2.5, so let's think of it in terms of halves with the aid of this diagram. So we have 1/2 or half, and another 1/2 or half. So 1/2 and 1/2, 1/2, 2/2 when you add them together, and 2/2 is 1. And let's think of this as half, so 1/2 and another 1/2, 1/2, 2/2. And again 2/2 is 1. So I have one whole and another whole with an extra half. Okay, so you could visualize 2.5, this mixed number, as a whole and another whole. So 1 plus a 1 gives us two wholes, or 2, with an extra half. And let's picture this in terms of an improper fraction. So 2.5, so we can use this pictorial representation to get the improper fraction. So we got 1/2, 2/2, 3/2, 4/2, 5/2. So this 5/2 is our improper fraction, as the numerator 5 is bigger than the denominator 2. Let's have another example. 4.25. So 4.25 means 4 wholes and a quarter. So let's think of this in terms of a quarter with the aid of this diagram. So we have this whole, and that is made up of a quarter, another quarter, another quarter, another quarter. So 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, and 4/4 is 1. Okay, so that gives us one whole, so 4 quarters amounts to a whole. And we have another whole comprised of a quarter, another quarter, another quarter, another quarter. So 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. which is another whole. We have another whole here, which contains 1/4, another quarter, another quarter, another quarter. So 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, and 4/4 is another whole. And we have another whole which is comprised of a quarter, another quarter, another quarter, another quarter. So 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, and 4/4 is another whole. So how many holes do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 4 holes with an extra quarter. Okay, so you can picture 4 1/4 in this way. And let's write 4 1/4, the mixed number. So remember, we call this a mixed number or mixed fraction. And let's write this mixed number as an improper fraction. So as an improper fraction, we have 4/4 plus another 4/4. So 4/4 plus 4/4 is 8/4. Plus another 4/4. So 8/4 plus 4/4 is 12/4. Plus another 4/4. So 12/4 plus 4/4 is 16/4 plus another 1/4. So let me write down the calculation so that you can see it. So you got 4/4 from here plus another 4/4 from here plus another 4/4 from here plus another 4/4 from here plus 1/4. So the denominator terms are the same, so we can only add fractions or subtract fractions for that matter when the denominator terms are the same. So the denominator terms are the same, so when we add the numerators, 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 4 is 12, 12 plus 4 is 16, 16 plus 1, 17, and it's 17/4. So this is the improper fraction, and this is our mixed number. Okay. Likewise, you can do the a side calculation if you prefer here. So to get from 2.5, the mixed number, to an improper fraction of 5/2. So remember the idea, we add the 2/2 plus another 2/2 plus this extra half. So the denominator terms are the same, so keep that as 2. Adding the numerators, 2 plus 2, 4, plus 1, 5. So that is how I got this 5/2. Okay, or you can calculate the totals using this pictorial representation. So all the same, you'll get the same answer. Now, let me show you a way to convert an improper fraction to a mixed number. So with example number 1, convert the improper fractions into mixed numbers. So let me show you how that is done. So we need to convert improper fractions into mixed numbers. So first of all, I need to say to myself, how many 2's go into 3? So using the 2 times table, we need to think about how many 2's go into 3. So I know that 2 times 1 is 2, okay? And 2 times 2 is 4. As 2 times 2 is 4, 4 is bigger than 3, so it has to be 1. So 2 goes into 3 once, as 2 times 1 is 2. So I write this 2, so this 2 comes there, and 2 goes into 3 once, so put that 1 over here. As 2 times 1 is 2, the difference between 2 and 3 is 1. Or you could count from 2 to 3 and you're going to get 1, but you could also think of it as the difference between 2 and 3 being 1. So let me repeat the process again. So first, write down that 2 here, okay? And then you need to think about how many 2's goes into 3. So using the 2 times table, 2 times 1 is 2. So I'll write down that 1 over there. And the difference between 2 and 3 is 1. So you write down that difference there. Or you can think of it as counting from that 2 to that 3, giving you that difference of 1. So as you can see, here's our improper fraction and here's our mixed number. Let's try another one. The more practice, the better. So 5 over 4. So remember the idea. I write down that 4 here. And then I think to myself, how many 4s go into 5? So using the 4 times table, 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. But 8 is bigger than 5. So it's not going to be 2. It's going to be 1. 4 goes into 5 once, as 4 times 1 is 4. So at most it goes into 4 goes into 5 once at most. Whoops. So let me change my colour pen. So I write down that 1 here. So let me revert to my favourite colour, blue. So that 1 goes there. And since 4 times 1 is 4, the difference between 4 and 5 is 1. So I'll write that 1 on top. Or you could keep that 4 in your mind and count from 4 to 5. So 4, 5, the difference again being 1. So 5 over 4 is the same as 1 1/4 in this case. And you're done. Let's try another one. 16 over 5. So 16 over 5. So using the 5 times table, we know that 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. And 5 times 4 is 20. Now, it's not going to be 5 times 4. So 5 doesn't go into 16 4 times, since 5 times 4 is 20. And 20 is bigger than 16. So 5 goes into 16 at most 3 times, since 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, so remember the idea. Here's the idea, guys. Let me remind you. The idea is we write down that 5 here. 5 goes into 16 3 times. And since 5 times 3 is 15, we need the difference between 15 and 16 here. Or you can count from 15 to 16. So counting from 15 to 16, 1. So the difference between 15 and 16 is 1. Write that on top. So 16 over 5 is the same as 3 1/5. And you're done. Right. Let's try another one. So 17 over 2. So remember, write down that over 2 here. And use your 2 times table. Think about how many 2's go into 17. So 2 times 1 we know is 2. 2 times 2 we know is 4. 2 times 3 we know is 6. 2 times 4 we know is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 9 is 18. Let's stop there because 18 is bigger than 17. So it must be 8. So 2 goes into 17 at most 8 times. Okay. So I take my different coloured pen, my red pen, and I circle that 8. I write down that 8 here. So let me revert to blue. So 2 times 8 is 16. And the difference between 16 and 17 is 1. So in this case, 17 over 2 is the same as 8.5. And we're done. Right. Try examples or questions 5 and 6. I'll give you guys a few moments. Take your time, pause the video, and I'll go through the solution very soon. Right, for number 5, 19 over 3. So I write down that 3 here, and I use the 3 time table to work out how many 3's go into 19. So let's have a look. So in this case, we know that 3 times 6 is 18, and 3 times 7 is 21. It can't be 7 because 21 is bigger than 19. So 3 goes into 19 at most 6 times. Okay, so in this case, I take my red pen, circle that 6, and I write down that 6 here. So let me revert to my favourite colour, blue. So 6 goes there. And since 3 times 6 is 18, the difference between 18 and 19 is 1. Or if you count from 18 to 19, you still get 1. So this means that 19 over 3 is equivalent to 6 1/3. And you're done. Let's have a go at number 6. So 37 over 5. Now using the 5 times table, we know that 5 times 7 is 35, and the next one is 5 times 8, which is 40. So 5 can't go into 37 8 times, since 40 is bigger than 37. So 5 goes into 37 at most 7 times. So I take my red pen, I circle that 7, I write down that 7 there. But before doing so, we write down that over 5 here. So 5 goes into 37 at most 7 times. And the difference between 35 and 37 is 2. Or if you count from 35 to 37, you get 2. So this means that 37 over 5 is equivalent to 7 2/5. And you're done. Right, now let's try example number 2. Convert the mixed numbers into improper fractions. So we're going in the reverse. So in this case, let me show you how that is done. Let me show you the method. So we have for number 1, 1.5, and we need to express that or write that as an improper fraction. So first step, this 2 we write here. Okay, so if I take my green colour pen, let me change the pen colour. This 2 we write down there. That's the first step. Okay, and in order to get the numerator term, the term on the top, here is the next step. We multiply the 2 by the 1. Okay, and then we add the answer to the term on top, or the 1 on top in this case. So if I revert to blue, my favourite colour, 2 times 1 is 2, plus that 1, 2 plus the 1 is 3. So 1.5 is the same as 3 over 2, and then we're done. Let's have a go at another one. So 2 2/3. Let's write that as an improper fraction. So remember the idea. Here's the first step. Green pen, write down that 3 on the bottom. So if I revert to blue, I'm going to write down that 3 on the bottom. Okay, and then remember the next step. Here's the next step, step number 2. We multiply the 3 by this 2, and then we add that answer to this 2 on top. So let's get ready to do that. Let me get my blue pen ready. 3 times 2, 6. 6 plus 2, 8. And then we're done. So 2 and 2/3 is equivalent to 8 over 3. Now, pause the video, have a go at questions 3 and 4. I'll give you a few moments and I'll go through the solution with you very soon. Right, for question number 3, let's have a look. So let me get my green pen ready, because remember what green pen means. We write down that 7 on the bottom. So if I go back to my favourite colour blue, here's 7 on the bottom. And remember the next step, here is step number 2. Next step is I multiply the 7 by the 2 and then I add the answer to the 1 on top. So 7 times 2 is 14. 14 plus 1 is 15. So 2 and a 7th is the same as 15 over 7, and then we're done. Right, for number 4, let's have a look at this example. So let me get my green pen, because green pen means the first step, write down that 5 on the bottom. So let me do that. So here's the 5 on the bottom, and to get the number on top, so to get the numerator term of this improper fraction, multiply the 5 by the 5 and then add the answer to the 3 on top. So let's do that. So 5 times 5, 25. 25 plus 3, 28. And you're done. Right. Have a go at these two questions, number 5 and number 6. Pause the video, take your time, and I'll go through the solutions very soon. Right, for number 5. So remember the idea. Let me get my green pen. Because green pen is the first step, I'll write down that 10 here. So here's my 10. And then remember the next step. Next step is, so step number 2, I multiply the 10 by the 4 and then I add the answer to the 5 on top. So let's get ready to do that part of the calculation. So 10 times 4 is 40. 40 plus 5, 45. And then we're done. So 4 and 5/10 is the same as 45 over 10. Right, for number 6, let's have a look. So first step, I'll write down that 4. So let me get my green pen. Writing down that 4 here. So let's do that. And then remember the next step, step number 2. Step number 2 is we multiply the 4 by this 4 here and I add the answer to the 1 on top. So let's go through that part of the calculation. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 plus 1, 17. And then you're done. So 4 1/4 is the same as 17 over 4. Right, so that is it as far as the video is concerned. So I hope you liked the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found this video very helpful for your studies. If you did enjoy and like the video, be sure to subscribe and like this video also, and I hope to see you again. Thank you.